There is a profound truth, often overlooked, that financial distress is rarely about money in itself. Rather, it is about the tangled emotions, illusions, and attachments we weave around something that should be neutral: currency, wealth, possessions. You who are listening to this now may have wrestled with anxiety over bills, debts, or future uncertainty. Ask yourself, is the pain you feel truly about the money, or is it about your perception, your fears, your expectations? Many live with a quiet desperation, believing their peace depends on wealth. Yet this peace remains elusive. Embedded deep within this condition is a question worth examining. Can you sever the power external wealth holds over your mind without denying the practical realities of life? This is not a denial of necessity, but a mastery of meaning. The Stoics confronted this very tension with clarity. Marcus Aurelius, reflecting in the midst of empire and upheaval, insisted that true control lies not in external possessions, but within the realm of our own reasoned judgment. He wrote, "Do not hanker after what you lack, but be grateful for what you have." Consider this: when you habituate gratitude, do you diminish the power of financial fear? Seneca, grappling with wealth as a senator and philosopher, moved his thoughts beyond mere accumulation to the virtue that should underpin it. Money was never to be an end, but a means aligned with wisdom and moral rectitude. His letters remind us, true wealth is a mind that is free. Imagine if you could approach your finances with the same freedom, a mind unchained by cravings or aversions. Epictetus, born into servitude, distilled this wisdom into the essential dichotomy of control. Some things are within our power, others not. Money is not within our ultimate control, but our actions, perceptions, and decisions certainly are. Here lies the practical leverage. When you accept this boundary, what remains is clear: action in harmony with reason and acceptance of outcomes. Now notice how these insights shape behavior. Financial anxiety often prompts frantic measures, impulsive spending, avoidance, or denial. Yet Stoicism teaches the power of voluntary discomfort, choosing modesty over excess, restraint over immediate gratification. This calibrates the mind to embrace resilience. What might happen if you regularly practice small economies, not out of deprivation, but from intentional discipline? This leads to a deeper reflection on your relationship with money. Are you using it as a mirror reflecting your self-worth, or as a tool to serve your purpose? Stoicism suggests that you establish firm boundaries, not only with others, but within your own desires. Emotional control over impulses to acquire is not to diminish life's enjoyment, but to prevent enslavement to fortune's ever-changing whims. As you align your finances with personal values, a new question emerges: does wealth serve your life or distract you from it? The Stoics warn against the illusion that possessions bring lasting contentment. They invite instead a focus on inner riches: clarity, virtue, peace, and purpose. What stands when external wealth is stripped away is your true estate. This transformation demands more than intellectual assent. It requires practical exercises deeply embedded in daily life. For example, try reflecting nightly on expenses. Were they necessary, purposeful, or habitual? Imagine if each decision was attended by quiet mindfulness rather than reactive habit. This awakens financial self-mastery. Consider adopting a temporary austerity practice, not as punishment, but as a deliberate exercise in voluntary discomfort to fortify resilience. Observe the emotional terrain it unveils within you. What fears, cravings, or aversions arise. Facing these reveals the true adversaries, not poverty, but internal turmoil. Now, before we proceed, ask yourself, can your current financial habits withstand the scrutiny of your highest reason? If the answer is uncertain, Stoicism offers a calm, unwavering path forward, inviting you to reorient not only your actions, but your entire mindset about money. Financial life is thus not a battleground, but a classroom for self-mastery. The true lesson lies in recognizing that wealth is indifferent. It can neither bless nor curse, except by the meaning you confer. This realization, difficult as it may be, is liberating. It is the moment you reclaim your sovereignty against the tempest of external fortune. Does this make you more curious about how Marcus Aurelius might have budgeted, or how Seneca found peace amid luxury? If so, the deeper path awaits us. We shall explore practical applications, how to cultivate a stoic financial discipline that tempers desire with reason, that embraces discomfort without despair, and that channels responsibility into serenity. Imagine the stability of financial decisions made from a center of calm, where emotional reactions do not dictate outcomes. This is not fantasy, but a habit of mind forged through reflection and action. Think carefully, what habits will you abandon that undermine you? Which new intentions will you commit to, those that serve freedom rather than dependence? Observe how this approach applies equally to wealth and its absence. Whether surplus or scarcity, the Stoic remains steady, accessible to clear thought and purposeful action. Financial hardship then becomes a teacher, not a tyrant. The trials of economic uncertainty serve as mirrors, revealing how well you have prepared your mind against suffering. We come now to the necessary transformation from insight to exercise. Begin with perception. When you feel financial anxiety, pause and ask, is this within my control? Then, shift attention to your response. Can you accept what you cannot change and act wisely on what you can? This simple dichotomy is a fulcrum for calm decision-making. Next, cultivate voluntary discomfort by choosing one small area for restraint, a meal, entertainment, or purchase, and practice temperance deliberately. Journal the experience and your emotional responses. This builds muscle for larger financial challenges and deepens self-awareness. Establish clear financial boundaries, not merely as rules, but as commitments to self-respect. Decide what is worthy of expense and what is not. Let this be guided by reasoned purpose, not fleeting desire. Over time, boundaries form a fortress preserving your mental peace. Finally, nurture gratitude for what is sufficient. Marcus Aurelius wrote of appreciating the moment and not longing endlessly for more. Such gratitude is the antidote to envy, greed, and restlessness. It centers the mind on abundance rather than lack. If you commit to this path of stoic financial mastery, you reconstruct your inner life. Money remains a tool, steady and impartial. The turmoil subsides, replaced by a measured calm and an enduring sense of freedom. If you have found value in this reflection, consider subscribing for continuing explorations of Stoic wisdom applied to the practical challenges facing thoughtful minds today. The journey to self-mastery and resilience is not swift, yet it is infinitely worthwhile. Remember this: the currency of a tranquil mind is far more valuable than gold, for it cannot be lost or stolen. Hold this truth firmly, and you own not only your finances, but yourself. Consider, then, the nature of desire itself. In financial matters, Desire often masquerades as necessity, clouding judgment, and promoting acquisitiveness under the guise of survival or improvement. Seneca advised that we should not pursue riches for their own sake, but as a means of supporting virtue and tranquility. What does this mean in everyday terms? It implies a rigorous distinction between want and need, between options that contribute to one's purpose and those that simply gratify transient impulses. The challenge, however, is not merely intellectual. It is an ongoing emotional labor. Confronting the impulse to purchase, to spend freely, or to hoard excess demands a vigilant inner dialogue that questions the true value of each financial choice. Are you enhancing your life or merely attempting to fill an emotional void? This question returns us repeatedly to the Stoic practice of examining impressions before assent. Imagine a moment when you find yourself craving an unnecessary object or experience. Instead of surrendering, pause, step outside the immediate impulse and consider its origin. Does this want arise from reasoned evaluation or from a restless dissatisfaction? Stoicism teaches us that reason must govern impulses rather than suppress them. This subtle distinction shapes the whole discipline of financial decision-making. It is not about denial or asceticism, but about freedom. Freedom from being enslaved to every fleeting desire that crosses the mind. Over time, this habit forms a character resilient to external chaos, unshaken by economic downturns or sudden reversals of fortune. Now notice how this interplay between reason and desire resembles the tension between external events and internal responses found in broader life circumstances. A loss of income, an unexpected bill, or the temptation of overspending are external factors. Your reaction to these events, that is wholly your domain. Epictetus' counsel to focus on what lies within your control becomes the bedrock of emotional stability. Observe how many individuals err in fixating on outcomes beyond their power, such as market fluctuations, employment instability, or the whims of others. By surrendering worry over what cannot be controlled, you conserve energy for purposeful action. With financial matters, this may involve reevaluating budgets, seeking counsel, acquiring new skills, or simply accepting austerity with grace. The Stoic mind does not collapse under such pressures, but treats them as exercises in endurance and mindfulness. This leads us to an essential, yet often overlooked principle: the economy of attention. Your attention is a finite resource far more precious than money itself. Where you place your mental focus largely determines your financial temperament. Consider those who obsess endlessly over gains and losses, who check markets compulsively, or who compare their wealth to others. This restless attention amplifies anxiety and erodes clarity. Contrast this with the Stoic practice of deliberate focus on what enhances virtue and well-being, the mastery of one's emotions, the fulfillment of duties, and the cultivation of wisdom. Such redirected attention realigns priorities and reduces the hold that money worries exert over the mind. Practical application of this can take many forms. A useful exercise is to establish attention checkpoints throughout your day dedicated purely to awareness of your mental state regarding money. Rather than obsessing continuously, allocate brief, purpose-driven moments to examine financial concerns calmly and strategically. Before undertaking a purchase or a financial decision, interrogate your current emotional state. Are feelings of fear, envy, or impatience coloring your judgment? If so, put off the decision until a state of equanimity returns. Such disciplined pauses serve as a buffer, preventing impulsive actions driven by passion rather than reason. Imagine a habitual pattern of reflection. Morning meditation on financial goals aligned with personal values, daytime attention checkpoints, and evening journaling on outcomes and lessons learned. This triadic practice nurtures a steady mind, capable of responding judiciously no matter the external conditions. The experience of consistent self-scrutiny, though demanding, leads to genuine inner peace because it diminishes the power of external instability to provoke disquietude. Observe, too, the role of community and responsibility in Stoic financial ethics. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he was part of a larger whole, bound by duty to others as well as himself. Financial choices are rarely isolated. They ripple outward, affecting family, colleagues, and society at large. This awareness cultivates a sense of accountability, extending beyond personal gratification. How might your approach to wealth change if you bore in mind the impact on those intertwined in your life? A Stoic does not hoard excessively while neglecting obligations, nor does one squander resources on reckless indulgence. Instead, there is a measured stewardship, an acceptance of responsibility that honors both self and others. Reflect on how this broader perspective tempers greed and envy, two potent disruptors of financial peace. Envy arises when we fixate on what others possess rather than appreciating what we have. Greed is insatiable desire, inflamed by comparison and dissatisfaction. Stoic philosophy dismantles both by grounding contentment in internal virtues rather than external acquisitions. When you measure worth by the excellence of your character rather than the size of your bank balance, financial turbulence loses its ability to unsettle you. Now consider the inevitable role of setbacks. Loss, failure, and unexpected downturns are part of life's economy. Seneca's letters to Lucilius stress the importance of anticipating misfortune as a preparatory exercise. By mentally rehearsing adversity, the Stoic equips the mind to endure hardship without capitulation. In a financial context, this might mean saving for a rainy day, not out of panic but prudence, planning for contingencies with forethought free from fear. It also means accepting losses with dignity rather than self-recrimination, recognizing that such events test and temper the soul. What does resilience look like amid financial hardship? It is the patient refusal to be swallowed by despair, the steady application of effort to improve circumstances, and the imperturbable belief in one's inner resources. This resilience is not Stoic passivity, but active endurance, embodied in the exercise of virtues, wisdom to understand situations clearly, courage to face them squarely, justice to maintain fairness even under pressure, and temperance to avoid rash extremes. Imagine now applying these virtues concretely in your professional life. Financial discipline translates to punctuality in payments, honesty in agreements, and reliability in obligations. It fosters trustworthiness, a currency often more valuable than money itself. When you meet your financial responsibilities with integrity, you build a foundation not only of external credibility, but internal satisfaction. This coherence between values and actions fortifies the mind against the corrosive effects of advantage sought at the expense of principle. Think carefully about how Stoic detachment from externals becomes a source of profound engagement rather than withdrawal. It frees you to participate in business and financial endeavors with full presence and calm, not as a slave to emotional turbulence, but as a master of your response. This balance encourages creativity and clear strategic thinking, qualities essential for sustainable success. As we near the close of this reflection, the question returns: how will you embody Stoic principles in your financial life? Begin small and deliberately. Choose one area previously neglected or mishandled for a month-long commitment to Stoic practice. This might be maintaining a detailed, honest ledger, opting for voluntary simplicity in daily spending, or confronting a long-standing fear about money openly and without judgment. This disciplined experiment will yield insights beyond the surface of cash flows or savings rates. It will reveal deeper truths about your relationship with control, desire, and self-respect. The goal is not financial perfection, but mental clarity, and through clarity, freedom. If this contemplation has resonated with you, the path forward is clear. Subscribe and join a community dedicated to cultivating the Stoic mindset in all aspects of life, including the elusive but vital realm of personal finance. In the end, remember this: to possess reason is to possess a sovereign fortress unassailable by external fortune. True wealth is the serenity of a mind governed by wisdom, undisturbed by the ceaseless flux of riches or losses. Hold this inner treasury with unwavering care, and you will never be impoverished, no matter the shape of your finances. To deepen this understanding, consider how financial goals must align not merely with material aspiration, but with a coherent life purpose. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to live according to nature, which in human terms means acting with rationality, social responsibility, and self-control. Money, then, is not an end, but a means to exercise these virtues. The question becomes not how much wealth you accumulate, but which kind of person you become in the pursuit and use of it. Imagine a professional who views their salary not as a trophy, but as a tool to cultivate discipline and generosity. Instead of expanding expenses to match income, this individual practices voluntary simplicity, choosing to reduce wants rather than inflate desires. The discipline to live below one's means is not deprivation, but an affirmation of autonomy from external pressures. This autonomy protects the mind from the restless fear of loss and opens space for gratitude for what already is. Now observe how this mindset influences decision-making at work. When faced with opportunities for shortcuts or compromised ethics, financial integrity might seem costly in the short term. Yet Seneca cautions against trading lasting honor for fleeting gain. The long-term dividends of steadfastness, in principle, far outweigh transient profits derived from self-betrayal. Imagine a business leader who disciplines their impulses, remaining truthful and fair even when tempted otherwise. Such a stance fosters trust that cannot be bought, building a reputation as a reliable and steady presence in a volatile world. Think carefully about the role of emotional mastery in negotiations and financial conversations. The impulsive demand for immediate advantage often signals ungoverned desires. Epictetus reminds us to distinguish what is within our control, our reasoned choices, from what lies beyond it, other people's reactions or market shifts. Approaching financial discussions with calm equanimity removes the Wild West impulses of greed and fear. Instead, It opens doors for genuine collaboration and measured compromise. Now notice how this attitude filters into saving and investing. The common temptation is to chase quick returns fueled by hope and anxiety alike. The Stoic investor, however, adopts patience as a cardinal virtue. Long-term steadiness, guided by prudent assessment rather than fickle excitement, reflects wisdom in action. As Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The investment is not just in assets, but in the fortification of character through temperate restraint. Consider too the paradox with involuntary discomfort. Choosing to live with less, postponing gratification intentionally, trains the spirit to endure hardship without complaint and to savor simplicity as richness. Such practice dissolves the fear that money is the sole protector against misery. When the mind habituates to contentment through self-discipline, financial misfortune no longer dictates emotional ruin. Reflect on a story from Epictetus, who, having lost all his possessions and even his freedom, maintained a serene mind because he knew that externals are indifferent. His wealth was in reason and virtue. This tale does not trivialize financial hardship, but shows that resilience grounded in philosophy transforms loss from catastrophe into endurance. You might ask, how does one realistically cultivate such resilience when daily struggles press heavily? Begin by identifying one predictable financial stressor, perhaps an irregular income or debt repayment. Approach this stressor not as an enemy to be denied, but as a training ground to exercise patience, wisdom, and courage. Keeping a calm journal of thoughts and feelings about this challenge enables reflection rather than reaction. Does anxiety arise from fear of future lack? What virtues can counteract that fear? How might acceptance of uncertainty bring peace? Observe how acceptance differs from resignation. Acceptance is an active engagement with reality as it is, not as one wishes it to be. It opens a window to strategic action grounded in realism, not denial or avoidance. This clarity prevents wasted energy on futile lamentations, conserving strength for prudent effort. Now, ask yourself what wealth really affords. Is it security, freedom, status? The Stoics would prompt you to redefine these terms. Security that binds one to external conditions is a fragile illusion. Freedom, in Stoic terms, resides in moral autonomy, the power to choose one's attitude and conduct. Status, often dependent on the opinion of others, is unstable and best surrendered to indifference. Through such reflection, financial transformation emerges not from frantic pursuit or abject fear, but from gradual cultivation of a serene mind. This mind does not deny the usefulness of money, nor does it become ensnared by it. Instead, it uses wealth with discretion, fortifies character amid gain and loss, and maintains equilibrium amid uncertainty. Before concluding, consider the role of generosity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that giving is an expression of justice and social duty. Financial prosperity sharpened by self-control naturally leads to supporting others without expectation of return. This giving is not impulsive charity, but deliberate, respectful sharing that honors both giver and receiver. It expands the mind beyond narrow self-interest and anchors the soul in community. As you embody this philosophy, begin a practice of regular reflection on your financial habits. Evaluate not merely figures, but motivations and emotions. Make your ledger a mirror of the inner condition, not just external transactions. Such mindfulness transforms routine accounting into a sacred exercise of self-examination and growth. If the temptation to control every outcome overwhelms, recall the Stoic dichotomy of control. Money, markets, debts, these are often beyond absolute control. Your virtue, however, remains sovereign. Anchor yourself there. Remember this enduring truth: wealth amassed without virtue is a brittle trophy, prone to shatter and scatter. Wealth governed by wisdom is a steady flame, lighting the path through the darkest storms. Let this final thought remain with you. Mastery over money is mastery over self. And mastery over self is the true wealth no fortune can eclipse. Subscribe now to deepen your exploration of the Stoic path and embrace a life where external change does not disturb internal sovereignty.